Welcome to the deep dive. So, you're thinking about heading to Bangkok. Amazing city, loads going on.
Absolutely. It's vibrant, exciting.
Totally. And, like any smart traveler, you want to know how to stay safe, right? Explore confidently, enjoy everything without worrying too much.
Exactly. And that's what we're here for today, to help you navigate Bangkok safely.
We're going to unpack it all, give you the tools, basically.
hmm Bangkok pulls in millions of people. It's got this amazing mix of culture, city life,
Yeah.
temples right next to skyscrapers.
Yeah, and it caters to everyone, right? Backpackers, luxury all travelers.
The whole spectrum, and it's generally a very safe destination.
Good to hear. So for this deep dive, we've looked at quite a few sources. Travel guides like Travel Zoo, Travel In.
Yep, insights from the Sensible Fae, Rate Punk, official stuff from the TIAT Team Newsroom.
Real experiences from Reddit discussions, which are always interesting. And the U.S. Department of State Travel Advisory.
Yeah, we did notice the U.S. Embassy site in Thailand had some technical issues when we looked, but the main State Department advisory was fine.
Okay, so plenty to draw on. Our mission today, give you the practical knowledge, the insights from all this, so you feel prepared, feel secure exploring Bangkok.
And it's worth saying up front, like, all the sources agree most trips to Bangkok are completely trouble-free. Seriously.
Right, being informed is just about making sure yours is one of them. It's not about being scared.
Precisely. Knowledge is power, as they say.
Okay, let's kick off with the basics. General safety, general awareness. What's the fundamental advice?
Well, the biggest takeaway, really, from everywhere we look is just use your common sense. The same precautions you'd take back home or in any big city.
Standard travel smarts.
Exactly. And it helps that Thai people generally have this reputation for being really friendly, very tolerant. That creates a welcoming atmosphere.
That definitely helps put you at ease. So, beyond just be aware, what concrete steps should people take?
Okay, number one, and this is crucial, get good travel insurance. Make sure it covers everything you plan to do. Don't skimp on it.
Right, like if you're planning on riding a scooter or something, make sure that's covered.
Absolutely. Read the fine print. Second, stay updated, check news reports, look at travel advisories before you go and maybe while you're there.
Any specific advisories right now?
Well, Travelzy mentioned the UK government advising against travel to some very specific southern provinces near the Malaysian border, way down south, not near Bangkok.
Okay, so not directly impacting a Bangkok trip, but good to know the context.
Right. It just highlights that things can change regionally. Oh, and another thing, the lèse majesté laws, they're very strict about respecting the monarchy.
So best to just avoid political chat altogether.
Generally, yes, just steer clear to avoid accidentally causing offense. It's simpler.
Makes sense. What about like natural hazards, weather, animals?
Yeah, good point. Thailand has a rainy season, usually May to October. Bangkok can get quite a bit of rain then, sometimes localized flooding.
Okay.
If you head to the coast, be aware of potential riptides. Jellyfish can sometimes be an issue too. And in more natural areas, yeah, just be sensible about wildlife. Snakes, spiders, scorpions exist, though you're unlikely to encounter them in the city's center. Monkeys can be cheeky, might try to grab things in certain places.
Little thieves.
Sometimes. And one ethical point several sources raised, including Travel Zoo, is about elephant riding. There are significant concerns about animal welfare, so maybe think twice about that activity.
Okay, good to keep in mind. So it's a mix of common sense, staying informed, respecting local laws, and being mindful of the environment.
Pretty much sums it up for general awareness.
All right, let's move on to something travelers often worry about.
Yeah.
Theft, fraud, scams. What are the common things to look out for in Bangkok?
This is where being aware really pays off. Petty crime like pickpocketing, bag snatching, it happens, especially in crowded tourist areas.
Like markets, busy train stations.
Exactly. The advice is consistent. Keep your valuables secure. Maybe use a hidden money belt or neck pouch. Be super careful on public transport.
Oh yeah, specific risks there.
Travel Zoo mentioned theft from sleeping passengers on overnight buses, which is sneaky, and even snatching things through open bus or tuk-tuk windows.
Wow, okay. So keep things close and secure.
Definitely. And with credit cards, always keep your card in sight when you're paying. Don't let it disappear into a back room. Card skimming can happen.
Good tip. What about those scams where someone approaches you being overly friendly?
Ah, yes, the friendship scam. Someone might buddy up to you, seem really helpful, then steer you towards specific shops.
Where they get a kickback.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You end up feeling pressured to buy overpriced souvenirs or jewelry. Just be wary of unsolicited help that seems too good to be true.
And tuk-tuk drivers too, right? Some might try similar tactics.
Yeah, some might offer super cheap fare, like impossibly cheap. Then they take you on a detour via shops or tailors where they get commission.
So agree the fare before you get in and maybe have an idea of the rate.
Yes, or use a ride-sharing app, which we'll get to. Another big one is the tourist site closed scam.
Oh, I think I've heard of this one. Near the Grand Palace or something.
Often, yeah. Someone approaches, says the palace or temple is closed for a special ceremony, but hey, they know another great place.
Which turns out to be.
A shop, usually.
Right.
Or maybe a less impressive temple where they also get a commission. The key is always verify opening hours yourself. Check the official website, go to the ticket booth. Don't trust random people on the street about closures.
Solid advice.
Yeah,
Ignore the friendly stranger telling you the main attraction is shut.
pretty much. Other common ones include the gemstone scam, selling fake or worthless gems as valuables. Stick to reputable stores if you're buying jewelry.
Okay.
On the canals, the klongs, maybe be cautious with independent boat operators. Some might try to demand more money halfway through the trip.
Oh, that's not good. Better to book through a known company.
Safer, yes. Or agree on the price very clearly beforehand. Same goes for floating markets. Boat rides there can sometimes be massively overpriced compared to local rates. Travelin gave some price guidelines, which could be handy.
Useful to have a ballpark figure.
Yeah. And with taxis or tuk-tuks, again, refusing the meter, quoting high flat rates. Insist on the meter in taxis, or agree the tuk-tuk fare up front, or
Use the apps.
use the apps like Grab, Bolt, InDrive. Multiple sources recommended them for price transparency and avoiding hassle.
Got it. Any others? Briefly?
Just quickly watch out for jet ski scams on beaches where they blame you for pre-existing damage. And be wary of fake travel agencies offering unbelievably cheap tours, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
Okay.
Okay, so the pattern seems to be skeptical of unsolicited offers, do a bit of homework, use reputable providers.
That's a good summary. Vigilance without paranoia.
Right. Now let's shift gears slightly. More serious stuff. Violent crime, harassment. What's the reality in Bangkok?
Okay, so perspective is important here. All sources stress that violent attacks on foreigners are rare, statistically rare.
That's reassuring.
It is, but rare doesn't mean never, so you still need to be alert, especially at night, especially if you're in an area you don't know well.
Makes sense. What about specific concerns, like for women or around nightlife?
There have sadly been reports of sexual assaults, often in tourist spots like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, maybe near bar areas late at night.
Okay.
So the advice is be cautious with excessive alcohol. It can lower your inhibitions and make you more vulnerable.
Standard safety advice anywhere, really.
Pretty much. Also, drink spiking is a concern at things like full moon parties, but potentially in bars too. The advice is classic. Don't accept drinks from strangers. Keep your own drink in sight at all times.
Never leave your drink unattended.
Yeah.
Got it. What about solo female travelers? We looked at the Sensible Fae on this.
Yes, they specifically tackled this. Their take, based on experience and stats, is that Bangkok can feel quite safe for solo women, sometimes even safer than major Western cities.
Interesting.
Yeah. Often any hassle reported comes more from other tourists than locals. However, they did mention being aware of reports mostly concerning Chinese or Taiwanese nationals about kidnappings linked to fake job offers.
But spontaneous tourist kidnappings are very rare.
Considered very uncommon, yes. But if a solo female traveler feels unsure, joining a tour group for certain activities is always an option for extra peace of mind.
Good suggestion. And general night safety tips.
Avoid getting heavily intoxicated. Don't flash expensive valuables around. Stick to well-lit, busy streets. And maybe avoid wandering into deserted-looking neighborhoods late at night. Just sensible stuff.
Okay, practical advice. Let's talk rules and regulations. Drugs and smoking. What's the deal in Thailand?
Right, this is super important. Thailand has very strict drug laws, and they enforce them.
Seriously strict.
Extremely. Even for possessing small amounts, penalties can be severe, long prison sentences. For trafficking, our sources mention penalties up to and including the death penalty. Don't mess with drugs in Thailand, period.
Message received. What about prescription meds?
You need to check the specific rules for your medication before you travel. Generally, bring only what you need, like a 30-day supply max. Keep it in the original packaging and have a doctor's note or prescription.
Okay, good planning needed there.
Yeah.
And smoking.
Smoking is banned in most indoor public places, on public transport, and actually quite a few outdoor public areas too, including some beaches. And a key thing, e-cigarettes, vaping, banned. Completely illegal in Thailand.
Wow, okay. No vaping. Good to know.
Definitely don't want to get caught with one.
All right. Moving on to cultural sensitivities.
Yeah.
How can visitors avoid causing offense?
Just being aware of a few key things goes a long way. Body language is important. Feet are considered the lowest, dirtiest part of the body, so avoid pointing your feet directly at people or especially at religious images.
Okay, soles of the feet tucked away.
Pretty much. And the head is the highest, most sacred part. So don't touch people on the head, not even playfully.
Got it. Head sacred, feet not.
You got it.
Yeah.
Also, the concept of saving face is huge. Avoid public arguments, shouting, or confrontation. It causes embarrassment for everyone and rarely solves anything. Be polite, calm, diplomatic.
Keep cool, even if something's wrong.
It's usually the best approach. And finally, dress code, especially when visiting temples or religious sites, but generally good practice away from the beach. Dress respectfully. Cover shoulders and knees.
Makes sense. Showing respect for the culture.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk getting around. Bangkok traffic is legendary. What are the key transport safety tips?
Yeah, transportation needs focus. Travelin highlighted Thailand's high road traffic fatality rate. Motorcycles are involved in a lot of accidents.
Oof. So be extra careful.
Very careful. If you're walking, sidewalks can be uneven or blocked. Traffic is chaotic and they drive on the left. Watch how locals cross roads, but still be extremely cautious. Don't just follow blindly.
Look both ways, then
Yes.
look again.
And again, tuk-tuk's iconic, good for short hops. Negotiate the fare first.
Yeah.
Hold on to your belongings. Tightly snatching can happen. Maybe track the route on your phone GPS to avoid massive detours.
Good idea. What about these electric tuk-tuks?
Travelin mentioned they're appearing, but maybe wait times are a bit unreliable still. Something to watch.
Okay, public transport, SkyTrain, subway.
The BTS SkyTrain and MRT subway are excellent. Efficient, modern, safe. Great for getting across town. Just be mindful of your pockets and bags and crowded carriages like anywhere.
Standard big city stuff. Google Maps helps.
Yeah, Google Maps is great for planning routes and figuring out tickets for BTS MRT. Public buses. They exist but can be slow due to traffic. You usually pay staff on board. Be careful getting on and off because of traffic passing close by. And again, watch your stuff if it's crowded.
Okay. Ride-sharing apps. Grab, Bolt.
Very popular, very convenient, recommended by lots of sources. You see the price up front, track the driver. Easy.
Sounds like the way to go for taxis, private rides.
Often, yes. One note of caution from traveling. Be wary of grab bike when the motorcycle taxi option. Given the accident stats, probably best avoided unless you absolutely have to. And always wear a helmet if you do.
Right, motorcycle safety is a big theme.
Huge, which leads to renting motorbikes or scooters yourself. Most sources strongly advise against this, especially if you're not an experienced rider used to chaotic Asian traffic.
Too risky.
The accident rates are just too high. If you do decide to rent, go with a reputable place. Check the bike thoroughly before you take it. Document any scratches, wear a good helmet, and make absolutely sure your insurance covers motorcycle accidents.
Lots of caveats there. What about renting a car?
Not really common for tourists in Bangkok itself.
Yeah.
Traffic is intense, navigation's tricky. You'd need an international driving permit. If you do, drive defensively, get full insurance.
Probably best left to the locals.
For Bangkok city driving, probably, yeah. Bike and scooter sharing services. Also generally not recommended for commuting due to traffic safety. Maybe okay for cruising around a big park like Lumpini, but wear a helmet.
Got it. Last one. Boats. Chao Phraya River.
Yeah, boats are great for certain routes, avoiding traffic, sightseeing, river ferries, tourist hop-off boats, dinner cruises, canal tours. Lots of options. Just be careful getting on and off, especially when it's busy. Watch your footing and your belongings.
Okay, quite a range of transport options, each with things to keep in mind. Sticking to BTS, MRT, and ride-sharing apps seems like a good baseline.
For most tourists, that's probably the easiest and safest combination, yeah.
Now, where to stay? Are some neighborhoods generally safer or better for tourists?
Yeah, Rate Punk and the Sensible Fae flagged a few key areas. Sukhumvit is really popular, lots of hotels, restaurants, shops, nightlife, well connected by SkyTrain.
Okay.
Siam is the main shopping hub, big malls, very central. The Riverside area has luxury hotels, nice views, feels a bit calmer. Siloam is the business district, but also has good restaurants and nightlife, plus Lumpini Park nearby.
Historical area.
That would be Ortanakosin, the old city, where the Grand Palace, Wat Pho, Wat R&R, lots of history, smaller guest houses. And Pratunam is known for markets, shopping, often more budget-friendly accommodation.
So lots of good, safe choices.
Yeah.
Any areas to be more cautious in?
Well, areas primarily known for nightlife, like the red light districts, Pat Pong, Nana Plaza, Soy Cowboy. They're not necessarily no-go zones, but you need heightened awareness there, especially at night. More potential for scams, drink spiking, that sort of thing. Klong Toei is a large, more local, densely populated area with a big market, probably not where most tourists would stay, and requires more street smarts if you visit.
Okay, that gives a good sense of the geography. Now, really important, if something does go wrong, who do you call? What help is available?
Good question. There's dedicated support. The number one resource is the Thailand Tourist Police. Their hotline is 1155. It's available 24/7, and they have multilingual operator.
1155, got it.
And highly recommended by the TIAC newsroom is the Thailand Tourist Police app. Seriously, download this before you go.
What does the app do?
Loads. Emergency SOS button, live chat with police and interpreters. It shows nearby police stations and even maps risky areas in real time. You can report incidents, get emergency travel info, notifications, even info on nearby attractions.
Wow, that sounds incredibly useful.
It really does. Available for iOS, Android, Huawei. Then there's the Tourism Authority of Thailand, the TAT. Their website is useful, and they have a call center at 1672 press 9 for English.
Okay. And for U.S. citizens?
Check the State Department Travel Advisory for Thailand. Enroll in the STEP program, Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It helps the embassy contact you in an emergency.
And the advisory level is currently okay for Bangkok.
Currently level 1. Exercise normal precautions for most of Thailand, including Bangkok. It's level 3. Reconsider travel only for those specific southern border provinces we mentioned earlier. And of course, the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok has contact info on their website if needed.
It's really good to know there's that safety net, those resources available.
Absolutely. Help is there if you need it.
Now, you mentioned we looked at Reddit specifically about pickpocketing concerns. What was the vibe there?
Yeah, it was interesting. The general feeling from Redditors, many saying they lived there or visited often, was that Bangkok felt safer from pickpockets than many big European cities like Paris or Rome.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
Yeah, quite a few people said they'd spent years there and never had an issue, but they still advised caution, obviously.
Standard precautions.
Exactly. Keep phones and wallets in front pockets or zipped bags. Be extra aware in really crowded places, Khao San Road was mentioned, markets, packed trains. Some suggested an undershirt wallet for extra security.
Just sensible stuff.
Right. One thing that did come up as a separate risk was phone snatching someone on a motorbike, grabbing your phone as they ride past.
Ah, okay. So maybe don't walk along the curb texting obliviously.
Probably wise. And there were a few anecdotal mentions about being cautious around some ladyboys in very touristy areas, like along Sukhumvit Road late at night, regarding potential pickpocketing attempts there too.
Okay, so overall, maybe less of a pervasive issue than some might fear, but still need to be mindful, especially in specific situations or areas.
That sums up the Reddit consensus pretty well. Be aware, take basic steps, but don't let the fear dominate your trip.
Okay, great. So let's try and wrap this up. Key takeaways from our deep dive on Bangkok safety.
I think the main thing is Bangkok is an amazing, generally safe city to visit. Millions do so without any problems. But, like any huge city, you need to be switched on. Be aware of common scams, especially those targeting tourists. Be smart about petty theft in crowded places.
Secure your stuff.
Secure your stuff. Choose your transport wisely. Maybe lean towards the BTS, MRT, and reputable ride-sharing apps. Respect the local culture.
Dress modestly at temples. Don't point your feet.
Exactly. And know that help is available. The 1155 Tourist Police Hotline, that really useful app, knowing those resources exist is reassuring.
It really is. It's about finding that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Soaking up the incredible energy of Bangkok, but keeping that awareness ticking over.
Perfectly put. Being informed, being prepared, that's the best way to ensure you have a fantastic, safe, and truly enriching time there.
Absolutely. So maybe the final thought for our listeners is, with all these insights, what part of Bangkok are you most excited to explore now? And what's the one safety tip you'll definitely keep top of mind for your trip? Something to think about as you plan that adventure. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.